Hello and welcome to TSG Foundation's Wisdom of the Zodiac. Today's lesson and meditation will be taken from Volume 4 of Wisdom of the Zodiac by Torkom Saraydarian, Chapter 12, titled Capricorn, Releasing Divinity. This is a beautiful chapter that will help us understand what is divinity and how do we become the divine self that we all aspire toward. Capricorn is about climbing to the mountaintop of our divinity. So keep that image in your mind as we go through these wonderful pages. Let's start by reading the first paragraph on page 129. Every human being, every life form is striving toward three objectives. And see if these three objectives are something that you can identify with, that makes sense to you. What are these three objectives? It is to have, to know, and to be. And so we all want to have things such as positions, power, energy. We want to have stuff, material things that make us comfortable, food and friends, and abundance in every way. And that is legitimate. It is good to have things that make us feel comfortable and safe and secure. But we also want to know. We want to know about our material world as well as our higher worlds. That's why we study the teaching and spiritual traditions and religious traditions. All show us what is beyond our physical world and how do we get there. And underneath all of this is that urge to be. All of us want to be something that is a little bit beyond what we feel we are right now. And what is that? We want to be happy. We want to be joyful. We want to be at peace with ourselves. We want to have our best and highest self manifest in everything that we do. When we talk to our family during holiday dinners, for example, what do we want to sound like? How gracious do we want to be? How forgiving and loving do we want to be? And these are all the things that go through our minds during this holiday period, the end of the year and the beginning of a new year period, is what do we want to be? It's really interesting because at this time we are full of gifts and things that we chase after. Dinners, gifts, parties, people. And at the bottom of all of us, at the end of the day, don't we sit and think, but what do I want to be in this holiday season? What do I want in the new year? And it's a very important question to ask. So keep this in your mind. Yes, you want to have, you want to know, and you want to be. And the major question is, what do you want to have? What do you want to know? And what do you want to be? Okay? And the key is really that we want our divine self to manifest. What is that divinity in us? Simply said, it is the eternal, the long-lasting, everlasting element that is in us, that is always operating in us. In our darkest moments, it comes up and shows up in our lives. So keep that in your mind. What is that everlasting, eternal energy, that beingness that is in you, that you want to bring out every day of your life, or more than less? Okay, so let's go page 131, and let me read that mid of the paragraph that is really beautiful, and it gives us a symbol of what we are striving toward. Mountains are symbols of initiation, which is expansion of consciousness. So you might ask, do I want to be initiated? Of course, we all want initiation, which means not standing and having somebody put their hand on you and say, you are now a master or an initiate. Not at all. We want to be initiated in order to be more of our essence. That is what initiation means. There's an expansion of consciousness that takes place, a certain level of calmness, of control over yourself, of discipline that takes place through this process of initiation. It continues. We climb one mountain, expand our consciousness, and see the world and our friends in a different light. So the whole idea is to raise yourself up beyond what you have and what you know, and say, how can I look at life differently so that I can be a little bit different? If this is not operating in our consciousness, it means that we are not yet climbing. So this idea of seeing things in a different way shows us that we are climbing. The time must come when we suddenly see the world in a different light. Has this happened to you? What is going on in your life? Sit down at this time and say, how am I seeing the world, and how can I see it in a different light? From the aspect of my divinity, from that perspective. It continues, people often confuse havingness and beingness. Okay? Havingness is the accumulation or acquisition of physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual objects. But beingness is unfoldment, expansion, and transfiguration. So let's look at that for a minute. Beingness is unfoldment. You unfold your talents. You unfold your beauty. You unfold your joy. And you let it radiate everything that you come in touch with. You expand that. You see, it's not just unfold and sit around you. It's expanded. And transfiguration means you actually change the cells in your body to exemplify that new level of beingness that you have accomplished. Isn't that beautiful? We all want things, but being something that is beyond having and knowing is what is the most important. Let's go to page 139. In order to release the divinity in us, we must start looking at people as divine beings. Isn't that interesting that we're not just working on ourselves, but we are turning ourselves around and we are climbing that mountain, and then we're looking at everything a little bit differently. In order to release the divinity in others, we must focus our consciousness on the divinity of others. Isn't that interesting that we start seeing people in a different light, not just in our own patterns. We bring our own patterns in the way we see other people. Instead, see people as divine beings. This is the only law and principle to follow in order to release the divinity in others. This is why great ones direct us not to hate, not to be angry, not to steal, not to destroy, and so on. All of these negative actions, which are condemned by religious and moral teachings, are acts against the recognition of divinity in others. So look how simple it is that we stop ourselves when we are angry, and we don't project that anger at others and say they did this so we can be angry at them. As soon as we do that, we are poisoning ourselves and ditching the divinity that's in us, and our eyes will not see the divinity in others either. The second one is not to be angry. Instead, be forgiving, be kind, and relax. Instead of bursting out in anger and condemning people, stay silent and try to see the divinity in the situation. The divinity in the situation may be just the fact that gives you an opportunity to bring out your joy and your divinity and radiate that out to other people. Not to steal. Don't steal the joy from others. Don't steal material things or knowledge from others and say it's yours. Don't steal in very subtle ways their beauty. Don't condemn, don't criticize. These are so important because I see that when we steal and destroy others, we do it in very subtle ways sometimes by saying some sneaky things that we think we are right to say or have the right to say, and we don't. You see how subtle it is? It's very important that as disciples we take things in a more sensitive way as we face the new year. It's not the same old, that we start looking at life in a more sensitive, more integrated, and more divine way. Now, look at this second paragraph. If we think that we did something wrong in the past, or somebody else is not well dressed, or they're not saying the right thing, let's not just condemn them. Let's change that paragraph. Let's change that thought form in us and look at what he says. Instead of thinking all of these things about you, let me think that you are a light. Can you imagine when you see someone that you just dislike, or they did something awful and you think how terrible and you're angry? Instead say, I'm going to think of you in light, that you are going to be a light of the world. Look at the switch. You are going to be a light of the world, and then let your light shine. So instead of thinking ugly thoughts, we can think you are a light. Let your light radiate. Let your light shine. You might say that, or you might just stay silent and quiet and just think it in your mind. How beautiful that is, and it's a beautiful technique. Okay, let's go now to the beautiful meditation. In this time of the end of the year and the beginning of the new, let's change our perspective a little bit and make our life a little bit different as we face the new in our life. When we do this, we will be initiates, Torkom says at the bottom of that page. If we cannot do it, we have a very long and dangerous path to climb before reaching the mountaintop of transfiguration. Look at what that says, dangerous path, because when we become ugly, hateful, and gossipy, we put those germs inside of us, and it will take a long time to clean them out. So let us take a minute now to think about these wonderful ideas of releasing our divinity and what that means. And as you go forward, think of the things that you want to have, you want to know, and then pay a little more attention to what you want to be. The meditation that we will do here, and I will guide you through it, is really beautiful, and it is about shining the light through your bodies and removing little awful things that give us fear, revenge, jealousy, slander, gossip, and malice. These are things that we are going to breathe and let the light penetrate and remove it from us. So if you're ready, sit up straight and put a nice smile on your face. Close your eyes and just take a minute to take 3 deep breaths and exhale. And relax. It's really important to relax and let everything outside the door, just don't think about anything except what we are doing, so that you don't mix the process of penetrating light through your bodies through all the stuff that's going on in your mind, okay? So be very focused as I walk you through this. Now close your eyes again, deep breath, and exhale with a smile on your face. Visualize a beautiful light in your head. You can make this light blue, orange, or white, whichever suits you. So take a minute. Do you want blue? Do you want orange? Or do you want white? If you're not sure, make it white. Do not strain, just relax. Let this light go slowly to your physical body and clean it of any ailment. See the light literally shining throughout your body as if you were an electric light bulb. Okay, take a minute to do that. Don't let the light stick to any part of your body. Let it just penetrate and radiate out. Now let the light shine through your emotional aura, cleansing it of all hatreds. Throw them out. Throw out all kinds of and colors of hatred and anger. Take a deep breath and let that light penetrate from your body out to the emotional body and cleanse out patches of hatred and anger. Release and let them go. Now let that beautiful light throw away fear. Fear can be like little patches on your emotional aura. Let it throw it out. Take a deep breath. Penetrate again through your physical body, out through your emotional aura. Let it throw out fear, become fearless. Now you are going to come to the mental plane, mental body, the mental aura, and we are going to throw away all seeds and traces of revenge. We do not need revenge. We don't need to put people in their places. Let it go. Take a deep breath and let that light radiate out through your physical body, your emotions, and now your mental body. Clear it of revenge. You don't need to worry about people doing you wrong. Let it go. Let it remove jealousy, uproot it. Any slander or gossip, hateful words, clean that out of your mental body. And do it with your breath and the light. Let's start from the top again. Take a deep breath. Visualize a beautiful light in your head. Let it penetrate your physical body all the way through like a light bulb. You shine. Expand out to the emotions. Expand out through the mind. And just sit in radiance. In your imagination, try to walk and see in darkness that you are a living light, all light. There's no darkness in your heart. You are all light. None in your emotions. None in your mind. It is all a field of beautiful, scintillating lights. Feel bliss and peace and tremendous joy as you sit in light. Hold that image. That is your divine image. And repeat after me, keeping the focus of being in light. More radiant than the sun. Purer than the snow. Subtler than the ether is the self. The spirit within my heart. I am that self. That self am I. Take a deep breath and staying in that light, never losing that image of light. Say 3 ohms, taking a deep breath between each one. May your light shine throughout this coming year. Open your eyes, take a deep breath. I want you to remember that you can release your divinity. You can release the beauty and the joy that is really you. Yes, we want to know things and we want to have things, and those are wonderful and part of our life experience. We want our friends, our family, our wonderful things around us that we enjoy, our music, our dancing, our books. But most of all, we want to be, because whatever you are at the end of the day, you are going to take with you to the higher worlds, and you are going to come back with those same beingness that you truly are. So strive this year and in a new year to become something that you are genuine, real and honest, who you truly are. God bless you, and thank you for being with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.